Mike, waiting for that number to drop?
Well, it's 219,000 is the number. It just drops. That is a change from the 193,000 that was originally reported last week. We'll get the updated numbers in just a second for the change. That means that we are seeing a slight increase in jobless claims, but not a whole lot at this point. 1,361,000 continuing claims. That's just marginally up from the week before as well. So it looks like people are still getting jobs. Now, I was interviewing Mary Daly yesterday. We talked about this. Claims, she says, are the last thing she looks at because at this point, the JOLTS data are telling you there's still a lot of openings so people who lose their job can get jobs, and claims are going to be really slow to go up because companies at this point aren't laying off people. They're just not filling new jobs.
I'm going to sound like a Fed official then. When she looks at the totality of the data, the totality of the data, does she see the heat coming out of this labour market yet?
So far. We're seeing that in the job creation numbers, and tomorrow we're going to, according to the Bloomberg consensus, see a reasonable decline, not a drop off tremendously, and that will suggest that companies are starting to cut back a little bit on their hiring, and that's what they want to see. They don't want to see the unemployment rate go shooting up, but they don't think that's going to happen because at this point, companies need workers.
You also asked her, and it was a really good interview, by the way, congratulations. You asked her about what it would take for her to cut rates, and she really put cold water on this theory that there are going to be rate cuts next year. This is coming from someone who wants to see workers succeed, who wants to see a fully employed America. Did she explain some of the tensions that she feels in the face of higher unemployment and potentially still restrictive Fed funds rates?
Well, she told a story about going out to a Walmart in the San Francisco area, dressed in sort of sweatshirt and jeans, not telling people that she's the San Francisco Fed chair, and asking people, what are you most concerned about these days? And she said everybody complained about inflation. Nobody said there was a problem getting a job. And so their concern is that workers are worse off, even if they're getting raises, because they're not keeping up with inflation, than they would be by a small number of people losing their jobs in totality if the unemployment rate goes up a little bit. Now, is the unemployment rate going to go up a little bit, or is it going to go skyrocketing? That's going to be the question. In the past, it's often skyrocketed. You get a much larger increase in unemployment when you get a recession. But so far, their argument is holding water.
You saw what President Bostic said, that even if that happens, we shouldn't prematurely step away.
Well, they look back at 1970. It was actually in the 1980s when Paul Volcker went back to cutting rates a little bit because unemployment was coming down, and then it started to go back up again. Inflation started to go back up again, and they had to start raising rates again, and they don't want to repeat that mistake.